I have a burning question today, and I really want to know this answer. Love you to comment this. Before you even start watching this video, comments below to this question. Are boys really harder to raise than girls? In this video, I am going to be sharing the real truth about raising a boy, what they need emotionally, mentally, and spiritually to thrive. Let's discuss raising boys. How different is it than raising girls? This one I want us to really interact, because I am a mother of a boy. And I've always wondered, is there a difference raising a boy or raising a girl? If you're new here, I'm Justina. I'm a parent, a minister of the gospel, and someone who believes that parenting is not just about raising children, but raising tomorrow's future adults who is going to change the world. Me, I'm a mother to a boy, so I have no clue in raising a girl. Yes, I have niece, you have cousins, younger cousins, but is there a difference raising a boy and a girl? Or a father who has both sex, boys and girls, or a boy and a girl? Or maybe you're a mother who, like me, just boys. Or maybe a girl, just girls. Let's share this, because I'm really intrigued to really hear from all of you. Is there a difference? Is there really a difference from raising girls to raising a boy? If you've ever wondered why your son reacts differently, struggles to express emotions, or even sometimes pull away as he's growing older, you are not alone. And my promise to you is, by the end of this video, me and you, we are going to walk away with a clear understanding of what boys truly need. And I'll share some practical steps in my journey of being a mother to a boy for 13 years. Practical steps that you can take this week to raise them with confidence, emotional strength, and purpose. So let's simplify parenting by understanding it and not overcomplicating it. Because sometimes we overcomplicate this thing called parenting. I've seen a lot of videos, read a lot of books, different school of thoughts. So let's talk about the truth. Boys and girls, are they wired differently? That's okay. Science, psychology, even the scripture, show us something very simple. Boys and girls are created differently, not unequal, just different by design. If you go by the Bible, we see first the man. The first person that God created was Adam, and then out of his rib, by design, he formed Eve, the girl. So one thing I've noticed being a parent to a boy is boys tend to process emotions slower. They're not fast-paced like us women. They often need space. They need to get into their space before their words. I don't know. Let's talk. This is my own, for my own understanding, from what I have seen in my child. My son is very driven to explore. I remember when he was much younger, you buy him a toy, within a day or even few hours, the toy will be pulled apart, wanting to see how they've put it together, like he was an engineer. They are naturally driven to explore, naturally driven to build, to compete. But let's play a game. You play a game, maybe if you won, he will start crying, because why should you beat? It's so competitive. And another thing I see raising as my boy is they like to take risk. You see a little boy, he wants something, he will get the chair, stand on top of it, not even giving a thought of I can fall. But they love taking risk. So when we expect them to behave or express themselves like how girls is, it's like we're setting them up for frustration. Unless if you have a son who is also very sensitive. You have some boys who are very sensitive. But most boys, like mine, when you want them to behave like yourself, we end up frustrating them. They may not talk all the time. They may not talk quickly. But one thing I have realized, that they feel just as deeply. It's just that they express it differently. I've had like these, cousins come around, younger ones, when they're playing with my son, who do something, my son will not react. But it doesn't mean that that thing did not hurt him. He just find a way to express it so differently. He doesn't like us. We show our emotion, we talk, we're very out there, outspoken. But I have found that they are very sensitive. They also feel just as deeply as us girls. It's just that the way they express it is totally different, and it's okay. So the goal is not to change him, it's just for us to understand him. Because when a boy feels understood, he will listen more, he will respect more, and he will open much more. I have found that so powerful in my son. When he knows that you is being understood, it will be more engaging. He will find a way, he will listen. You will get him to be at his best. So they are so wired so differently, but at the same time, it complements us with the girls. Let's be honest. I like the way how boys really test boundaries. Climb what they know that they should not. Argue when you are tired. They are not tired. They will continue the argument. And sometimes they will seem to hear what they want to hear. But here's the secret. You can't correct what you haven't first connected with. You cannot correct if you have not had any connection with them. That's one of the secrets that I found raising my son. When you lead with connection, I'm from the African background. We lead with our eyes. When an African mother looks at you, even if you are misbehaving, just that eyes, you know that you have to stop, or else you know what is coming next. The eye contact, the calm tone, the empathy, they will become so receptive. They don't thrive, they don't be their best when you're shouting. I remember at my earliest stage of being a parent, I used to shout a lot. I used to talk a lot. I changed, and my strategy is now I communicate nice and calmly, very calmly. Hey son, I can see you're frustrated. Let's take a breath first. Instead of always saying, stop shouting, come away from there. I don't know if it works for you. Please, this is a discussion. Let's interact in the comments. It's work. But for me, my son, it doesn't work. He likes when you treat him like a big man. You say, hey son, I can see you're very frustrated. Maybe you need to take a break. Maybe you need to take a breather. Let's take a breather first. You'll be surprised how that little shift, that small shift, it just calms their defenses. Boys don't always need more rules. What they need is relationship. They need to connect with you. And once they see that authority in your tone, in your voice, then you can be able to get them to do what you want them to do. The next tip is you teach them emotional vocabulary without making them feel awkward. Let me share something. Most boys don't have words for what they feel. They don't. They will say, I'm fine, even though then you know they're not fine. You know they're hurting. They will tell you, I'm fine. Or the classic, leave me alone. When they're very overwhelmed, when things are not going right with them. So part of our job as parents is to teach them emotional language very early on. When he gets upset, say something like, it sounds like you're disappointed. Or, I can see you're angry. It's okay to feel that way, but let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. And that is emotional intelligence. And emotional intelligence is what will grow up to be confidence. A boy that can name his feelings, he won't let them control him at all. He will not be controlled by that feelings because he has that confidence. He can deal with his emotions in a very controlled manner. And my next tip